Yo, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? Welcome into another live edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Girouard, and we got a loaded show as the New Orleans Saints rumors are red hot as we head in to the 2024 NFL Draft. But let's kick this thing off right. If you love the New Orleans Saints, let me know by typing Who Dat in the chat. We had the stream scheduled for 4:15. I was producing my guy Patrick Seatman's Vikings Now live show. We were able to get graphics and everything squared away a little early, so we decided to just go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling. But shout out to Ty Man, shout out to Saints Lover, Jerry G, Mikey Taylor, Teo, Jay Bird, Braden, Ty Man, Hunter, Jerry, It's Poppy, Akeem, Earl, and Blaze Smith. Shout out to all of you for rocking and rolling with us today. Pelicans Nola, shout out to you too, my man. Duff Nation and the legend Mikey Taylor himself are all hanging out with us. Fully Baked, it's going to be me later. Silas Lucky or Silas Lucky, Who Dat? Raphael, yo! Daniel, yo! Melvin, Who Dat? Patrick, Go Saints. Dave, Who Dat? Love to see it. Hunter Robinson keeping the chat rocking and rolling, and Blaze Smith keeps it moving as well. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video while you guys pile in, so that way it helps us get more Saints fans in the chat. And Randy, the legend Lemoyne, says, wow, just received one of those packages that you open and huge butterflies fly up, and it has candy and cake in it. I screamed, ran face into the fridge. Good shit, whoever did that. That's funny, Randy. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, brother. Now, I want to ask you this question. What should the New Orleans Saints do in round one? Should they try and trade up into like the top 10 somewhere? Should they try and trade down, get some extra draft picks, or should they stay put and just select at number 14? I want to hear what you guys got to say, but Tyler Stokely is a first-time super chatter. Shout out to Tyler Stokely getting the super chat cherry popped for the day. He says, Who Dat? Who Dat to you too, my man. Hey, that's a good looking, is that a deer? Is that a buck? It's a good looking kill you got there, Tyler. If you're a big hunter, send me some pics of the catch that you make. I'm trying to find the PC way to say this on YouTube because it's still kind of early in the show. But let me know, what should you do in round one? If you were the New Orleans Saints, would you trade up, would you trade down, or would you stay put? In our live poll, it's actually pretty even. 38% says trade up, 36% says trade down. Trade back is actually at 25%. So keep voting in the live poll for me. We got 75 votes so far. I love to see it. That means everyone is participating, which is really good news for your boy. I see Ty-Man saying trade up. I see Jerry G saying stay put. Ty-Man says trade up. It's Poppy says trade down, acquire picks twice, so maybe 2 times you're trading down. Braden says Who Dat and trade up. I love to see it. Randy Lemoyne, he's typing those S's for stay put. And Duff Nation also saying stay put. Now, I want you to shout out a player for me that you want to add to the Saints roster, whether it's draft, whether it's free agency, trades, I don't care. You can get creative. Let me know what players you want to see the Saints add, because then I'll talk about them in future shows. So this is a good way for you guys to let me know who you want me to keep talking about. But we got to talk about the Queen herself, because Queen Courtney has blessed us with her presence once again. We're not worthy. We're not worthy, but we appreciate you, Queen Courtney. Everyone throw the emojis in the chat. Time Man knows what to do. Kyle knows what to do. Duff Nation knows what to do. We're all typing our crown emojis for Queen Courtney. But let's get back to this question. Draft or free agency additions? Mikey Taylor says Brock effing Bowers. Hunter Robinson, Justin Simmons. Melvin, Simmons and Bowers. I see a lot of Justin Simmons. I see a lot of Justin Simmons. Lopan, what is this? This is Saints Now by Chat Sports. We're in the build-up portion of our live show. We're going to be breaking down the latest Saints rumors here in just a few minutes. I see pretty much, it's literally just Justin Simmons and Brock Bowers. Okay, so note to self, talk about Justin Simmons. Got it. You want Justin Simmons content? We'll give you Justin Simmons content. It's literally only Justin Simmons. I haven't seen an offensive lineman get named. It's been Justin Simmons, Brock Bowers. I haven't seen a Dalton Reisner. I haven't seen Olu Fashanu. I haven't seen Tyler Boyd. I mean, that's pretty wild. It's pretty telling who the Saints fans want. Oh, damn. Deontay Hardy is signing with the Ravens. All right, breaking news around the New Orleans Saints. Former legend Deontay Hardy, who was a free agent after being released by the Buffalo Bills, is headed to Baltimore. I personally thought the Saints should have tried to bring him back and run it back because I think it would have been a good reunion for New Orleans, especially with the new kickoff rule. I think it would have been a useful addition. But needless to say, Deontay Hardy is headed up to Baltimore. He's staying up in the Northeast. And here's the deal of the day. Whoever sends in the largest individual super chat, whoever's our MVP, gets to pick a show topic for me to discuss either on Friday or for Monday's show, because we have some content that I have scheduled to go out for the weekend and whatnot. But whoever sends in the largest super chat gets to pick what I discuss on a show. I'll reach out to you and we can, come up with the script together. It helps me, have some new content, and on top of that, it'll be presented by whoever is our MVP, which right now, first in the leader house is Randy the Legend Lemoyne. Everyone clap it up for Randy. Everyone clap it up and give him a who dat Randy. Who dat Randy, baby. Appreciate you for that $25 super chat, keeping this thing alive. And I have really good news. To the 72 people who are hanging out with us right now, we got the go-ahead. I got breaking news around the channel. It's a programming announcement. We will be live for round 1 of the 2024 NFL Draft. I pulled some strings. Me and producer Seeps have been working our tails off, have been putting in the hours, and we're getting rewarded by getting to go live for the NFL Draft. So I hope you guys will join us there. It's going to be a ton of fun. So if you guys are pumped up about the NFL Draft and about our live stream, I need you to like this video. 69 people hanging out with us. Very nice. How much? 69 is a great number. It's the number right before 70 and right after 68. It's a pretty cool number. Here's what we got coming up on today's video in our live show. We're going to be breaking down the latest Mel Kiper Mock Draft where he went 2 rounds, and I actually love the Saints select. I mean, he nailed this shit. He killed it. Let me tell you what. I'm not a huge Mel Kiper fan, but if the draft goes the way Mel Kiper says it will, I'm going to be pretty happy, to be honest. Then we're going to get into some trade candidates, some players that the Saints could trade away to either get some draft capital, try and clear up some money, or, maybe there's an upgrade there that the Saints could make at their respective positions. So it is a loaded show, and on the very back end, we got a mailbag. So use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat, ask a question, give a hot take, whatever you want to do. So that way we can discuss what you want to talk about. This is where you get to write the show and you get to tell me what we want to talk about. So use hashtag Saints. I want to see Melvin, Hunter, Mikey, and Randy right now. I need a hashtag Saints with a question, okay? I need hashtag Saints with a question or a hot take from those 4 cats. Randy, Hunter, Melvin, and Mikey Taylor. You got me? I need 4 questions from y'all. Just from 1 each. That's all. But without further ado, actually, hold on. I'm getting into my ear. We're at 22 likes. Bosses don't like that. Can we get to 30? It's a big jump. I need 9 more likes on this video, and we can get this thing started. We have a ton to discuss. We want to break it all down for you, but all we ask is you like the video, you hit that thumbs up icon. It helps YouTube push our content to more Saints fans. It also helps you get our content in the future. So it's kind of a little I scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of thing. We're at 31 likes, and without further ado, the pipes have been lathered. Let's get this thing going. So in today's video, I'm going to be reacting to and breaking down Mel Kiper's latest mock draft, where he actually went through 2 rounds of the 2024 NFL Draft. And I'm going to tell you right now, I absolutely love the selections that Mel made. Now, if you're pumped up for the 2024 NFL Draft, I need you to hit that thumbs up and like the video. And right before we started filming this, I got word from the bosses that we will be live for round 1 of the 2024 NFL Draft. So that's just more reason to like the video so that way you can tune in the future. And on top of that, subscribe and turn on your notifications. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the notable recent picks that happened before the Saints selected at 14 overall. Newsflash, Saints didn't trade up in Mel Kiper's mock draft. But Joe Alt, the top offensive tackle, went to the Tennessee Titans at number 7. Brock Bowers, a very popular name amongst Saints fans. He went to the Jets at number 10, which I do think that's how the draft will pan. I don't think he falls to 14. J.C. Latham, in kind of a shocking move, goes at number 11 to the Chargers. And Talisi Fuanga, the offensive tackle out of Oregon State, heads over to Sin City. Now, for the pick in number 14 overall, the New Orleans Saints select Olu Fashanu, the Penn State offensive tackle, according to Mel Kiper. I freaking love this pick. This is the player that I want the Saints to walk out of the draft with. If it's not Joe Alt, it has to be Olu Fashanu. But let's discuss Mel Kiper's thoughts. This is a pairing that I've projected for the past 2 months, as the Saints should be concerned with 2022 first-rounder Trevor Penning's play over his first 2 seasons. Penning hasn't even proven to be an NFL-level left tackle, while Fashanu, on the other hand, has high-end traits in a 6'6" frame. He allowed just 1 sack in almost 700 pass-blocking plays in his entire collegiate career. Now, let me know really fast, Saints fans, do you want the offensive tackle out of Penn State? I think that Olu Fashanu would be an excellent selection, so I'm typing my Y for yes. But if you disagree, just type your N for no's and let me know your thoughts in the comments section. But diving into what 2023 had to offer for Olu Fashanu, and overall in total, he had 722 snaps. The overall PFF grade is really nice. 0 sacks allowed in 2023, 0 hits allowed, 4 penalties, 10 hurries. This kind of player can make a huge impact and can be the exact thing that could help propel the Saints offense to be what it can turn out to be. Now, Olu Fashanu, like we said, he's a big-ass man at 6'6", 312 pounds, got long arms and all that fun stuff. He is also, in my opinion, a clear franchise left tackle. I think that he is the number 2 left tackle, but it's Joe Alt here, and really freaking close, it's Olu Fashanu. And I think that he could go early, but I do think that this is a player who can be an immediate impact, especially at the left tackle position, because all of his snaps were taken at the left tackle spot. And on top of that, Trevor Penning, he hasn't been good. Ryan Ramczyk, I think you do need another right tackle later in the draft or somewhere else, because Ryan Ramczyk, if he can't go and he's hurt, then that's something that I am really concerned about. Right now, I'm playing the devil's advocate of he has not been ruled out this season. He has not announced that he's retiring. Nothing has happened around Ryan Ramczyk other than he's not exactly where we want him to be. So I'm going to take it as Trevor Penning needs to be replaced, and maybe you can find a better role for him. But Ryan Ramczyk, in my eyes right now, is going to be able to play. So that's why I think Olu Fashanu is the best selection for New Orleans in round 1. Now, in terms of players that were on the board for the Saints in round 1, they also could have gone with Troy Fontenot, Cooper DeJean, Laiatu Latu, who is an extremely impressive player, as too is Jared Verse, and Brian Thomas Jr. was not selected yet by Mel Kiper. So interesting to see the ESPN draft expert pass on some of these prospects and go with Olu Fashanu in round 1. Now, we got a lot more to get to, but before we dive into that, got to give a big-time shout-out to Game Time for sponsoring today's video. Game Time is my favorite ticketing app, and it is the best ticketing app because it gives you the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. Now, if you want to go ahead and get some seats for LSU games or for New Orleans Saints games, We got you covered. If you use our promo code CHATSPORTS, you can actually get $20 off your first purchase. So what does that mean? Well, you can pick one of these LSU games that's pretty cheap, and you can basically go for free. You can actually, in my head, go and have Game Time pay for your ticket and pay for your first round of refreshments, whether it's beers, hot dogs, whatever. If you use our promo code CHATSPORTS, that's code CHATSPORTS, you can get $20 off your first purchase. It's last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I absolutely love this app. I made so many memories, but now it's your turn. Once again, terms apply. Download the Game Time app. Use promo code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All that information is in the comments and description of this video. So let's go to round two. And I kind of wanted to I was kind of selective with these players that I put up here because the run of offensive players was insane. I mean, it was a ton of wide receivers. All of the top quarterbacks were gone. A bunch of the top corners, a lot of DBs, a lot of those guys went. The edge rushers, all of the top edge rushers were gone. And here are the notable picks leading up to the Saints. Number 32, I love Xavier Legette. I think if the Saints can find a way to get him, that is an excellent steal. However, I think that he's going to be long gone by 45. Bo Nix goes to number 33 for the Giants. New York still continues to struggle to find a real quarterback, unfortunately, according to Mel Kiper. Keon Coleman heads to New England. Michael Penix heads to L.A. And Ladd McConkey is beefing up the NFC South over in Carolina. I love the prospect Ladd McConkey, by the way. But here's who Mel Kiper had the Saints selecting. Malachi Corley, the Yak King out of Western Kentucky. Dude, I'm telling you, if the Saints draft can pan out like this, we're doing something right. Let's kick it over to Mel Kiper. With Michael Thomas gone, the Saints wide receiver depth chart suddenly looks thin outside of Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. With Malachi Corley, they could find a productive playmaker who thrives after the catch. He's a tackle-breaking machine. Corley led the FBS with 253 receptions since the start of the 2021 season, and he had 29 scores over that time frame. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want the offense to get a spark, here's the frickin' plug. Malachi Corley is a yak monster, and when I look at him and I think of Clint Kubiak running this offense, in my head, I'm thinking, you got a Deebo Samuel type player in Malachi Corley. I mean, he is extremely productive. In 2022, absolutely broke out and had a stellar performance. And in 2023, continued with great production, back-to-back seasons with 11 touchdowns. This kid is freaking special. And there is a spot for him on the depth chart. I'm going to be honest. I think that A.T. Perry is going to earn a spot to be that X-wide receiver for the Saints. Chris Olave, he is a great player, a bona fide 1,000-yard receiver, and we know what he is. Rashid Shaheed, he is your speed demon. Let him go and hit him deep. That is pretty much all you need to do with him. But in terms of Cedric Wilson, Stanley Morgan, that's where things can become a little bit different. And adding in a player like Malachi Corley could be a really nice addition to a wide receiver room that's nice, but definitely could be better. Now, I would be stoked if this was the results that came out of the NFL draft, especially in the first two rounds, guys. The Saints, it addresses their need at offensive line. It gives them an extremely useful offensive weapon that rounds out a young and successful core of offensive weapons. And I think that this would be amazing. Now, grade Mel Kiper's mock draft for me. A, B, C, D, or F. For me, it's an A+. This is exactly how I want the Saints mock draft to go down. If it's not Malachi Corley, I would love another offensive weapon, but some of those guys were picked. Corley has met with the Saints, so I think that this would be an excellent move. But grade the mock draft for me down below, and don't forget to subscribe. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time. All right, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? What you guys think right here? I love it. I freaking love it. I think that this is an excellent move for the Saints. I think if you were able to bring in if you're able to shore up your offensive line and also bring in a weapon like Malachi Corley, whoo! I mean, what more do you need in the first 2 rounds? Like, you already addressed edge rusher. You addressed linebacker. Maybe you could go safety. Maybe you sign Justin Simmons after the draft. My point being, I love this. Fully baked, A+, Randy Lemoyne, A+, George Robinson, A. Totally agree. I totally agree. I think this is an excellent draft from Mel Kiper. So shout out to him, and shout out to you Saints fans for rocking and roll with us. Kyle says A. He also says, I would pick Jatavion Sanders in the second round. I don't hate that selection. I just think that bringing in a guy like Malachi, if it came down to Corley or Sanders, I'm taking Corley over Sanders, but I do like the idea of drafting Jatavion Sanders. So let's go back and remind you the deal of the day. Whoever sends in the biggest super chat gets to pick a future show topic. Right now, that number is $25 from Randy Lemoyne. Randy, if you want to try and bump up the number, go ahead and beat your own record. Whoever does win gets to not only help me decide what I want to talk about, but you give me the full topics. We can talk about it. We can discuss, let's say, trade ideas. Or we can say, let's do top 5 wide receivers in Saints history. Or it could be my all-time favorite individual players plays from the Saints. I don't know. It could be whatever. We could have fun, and we could gear it towards you. So if you want to try and get help me write if you want to be the host of the show, essentially, just send in a super chat of more than $25, and you can select what we discuss. But we are going to start this thing off with some trade candidates. Is that one not there? Hold on. I thought I built it. Maybe it's not there. Let me see if I forgot to move it or if I moved it down. Oh, I just straight up forgot to build it. Okay, sorry, bud. All right. Yeah, and one more reminder, use hashtag Saints to get on the show. We're going to be doing a mailbag here in about 15, 20 minutes. So if you do want to get on the program and you want to be, have your question, have your hot take get popped up, it's an easy way for us to have things to discuss. And it also puts your name, your picture, and your idea in front of thousands of Saints fans. Some of our mailbags have gotten 10, 20,000 views. So this is a really good way for you to kind of show other Saints fans what you got. Mikey Taylor, $20 super chat. We'll pop that up here in just one moment. Shout out to producer Seeps. He is cleaning up my messes per usual because I tend to have a lot of those. Mikey Taylor, $20 super chat. Bro, I gave Mel an A, but my last mock I sent you is an A++. LOL. Mikey, I really like what you did with your last mock draft you sent me. For the sake of people knowing, I'll read it to you. He had the Saints trading up to number 9 to get Joe Alt, selecting Brock Bowers at 14, and then you got Christian Mahogany, an interior offensive line out of Boston College at 45, who the Saints have met with, for the record. Luke McCaffrey at number 88, Tyrone Tracy, the running back out of Purdue at 175, Josh Proctor, the Ohio State safety at 199, and Jordan Jefferson, the defensive lineman out of LSU at 239. That is a great mock draft, Mikey. That is an excellent. Maybe you should be in the front office. Maybe you should be out there, not Mickey. Maybe we need Mikey, not Mickey. All right. Just making sure I didn't miss anything on the Twitter sphere because you never know when things are going to go down. But reminder, use hashtag Saints to get on the show. Dylan, this is not the Raiders report. This is Saints Now by Chat Sports. So hashtag Raiders will not work. You got to use hashtag Saints if you want to ask a question, send a hot take, get on the program. Quay Courtney. Sorry, still looking at Mikey Taylor's super chat. Quay Courtney. $20 super chat from the Queen. All right. I like Mel's, but I'd still pick a receiver at 14 than offensive line in second round. I don't hate that idea either, Courtney. There's a lot of really good prospects available in the second round. Excuse me. I do think that this is one of the most loaded offensive line just as a whole. There's tackles, there's interior linemen, all sorts of really good options in the second, third, fourth, fifth rounds that you might be able to go and snag. For me, it depends on the wide receiver. If Like, this won't happen. If Malik Neighbors falls to 14, then hell yeah, I want Malik Neighbors. I don't even think about an offensive lineman. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Like a Brian Thomas Jr., that's something intriguing to think about. There's just not a ton of wide receivers in round 1 that I would go at 14 with outside of like the top 2 or 3 guys. But I do love A.D. Mitchell. I think Xavier Worthy would be an awesome option as well. But I have a specific fit that I want the Saints to get. So like specifically for round 1, Brian Thomas Jr. is probably makes the most sense. Big body guy. He can be kind of your X receiver type player. Quinn Courtney, good news. You are in the lead with $30. So Queen Courtney right now is getting to pick a show. Randy, you gonna let the Queen do that? Because I think the Queen should get to do that. But of course, Randy, if you beat her, then who knows. Whoever has the most amount of super chats at the end of the day, you get to pick a show topic. Right now, Queen Courtney is the leader in the clubhouse at $30. Just wanted to give you guys that reminder. And another friendly reminder: use hashtag Saints. Ask a question. Send in a hot take, whatever you want, just like Kyle did a second ago. Appreciate you guys. All right. Let's break it down. Trade candidates. Some players that the Saints could look for. Or the players that the Saints could trade to clear some cap space. Hold on. I fixed this in the sheet. How did this get deleted? Okay, wait. No, this is right. This is right. We're good. Can you go to the next one real quick? I just want to make sure. Yeah, that's the one I fixed. Okay, cool. All right, let's talk about trade candidates. Could Alvin Kamara be traded? I don't know. We'll discuss it right now. Welcome into today's show, Saints fans. We're going to be discussing some trade candidates because I think that the Saints could be looking to add some draft capital, whether it's this year or in the future, maybe even clear up some cap space or just straight up improve and upgrade at certain positions on the field. But let's break it down. My name is Trace Girouard. Welcome into Saints Now. And before I say all of this, I just got to watch my own back here. Got to cover my ass. This is purely just a list of players who I could see the Saints possibly trading to either A, save money, B, upgrade that respective position, or C, get back some draft capital either this year or in the future, like I just said. I do not want to lose some of these guys. A lot of them I would really prefer to stick around in New Orleans. I want to make that clear now. But got to just say one thing. Also, quick reminder to join the squad. Subscribe for our offseason coverage because it's only ramping up, baby. The draft is just around the corner, and we will be live for the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. So I encourage you to hit that big red sub button, lock us in, and join our family. That way you can get more Saints coverage all year round. Well, let's start off with the reason you probably clicked on this video, Alvin frickin' Kamara. AK-41 would save New Orleans about $11.7 million if traded post June 1. And he does have $7 million, just over $7 million in dead money. Now, I want to make this clear. You see this point? Again, I don't want to trade some of these players. Alvin Kamara is one that I do not want to trade. I think that bringing in Clint Kubiak and putting him in this offensive system, we finally have one that works and that caters towards his skill set. But the reality is he's one of the better trade pieces and one of the better things you could get, or one of the better players that you could trade to get some assets back. Now, in terms of the production over the last 4 years, the rushing numbers have dipped every single season. The rushing yards have gone down, even if it's by 1 yard since 2020. The receiving numbers up and down, left and right, it kind of just, it still to me isn't that great when you're dropping down from 750 plus yards to less than 500. That just says enough to me. Now, obviously, there was suspensions, there was injuries, there's all sorts of stuff that limited the amount of games he could play. But in 2022 and in 2020, he played the same amount of games, yet the production does not look anywhere close to that. So I do also want to talk about this point. Maybe you have some trust in Kendre Miller. Maybe you have some faith in the former TCU Horned Frog. This guy is so special, and if he can stay healthy, I saw enough last season, especially in that game against the Falcons, where I have faith in this player. in my opinion, the two most impactful games he had, the Patriots game and the Week 18 game against Atlanta. He was special. He was spectacular. The big question, can he stay on the field and stay healthy? And if you can do all that, I think you have your immediate Alvin Kamara replacement in the locker room right now. So maybe that makes trading him away a little bit better and a little bit easier to do. Again, I'm not going to trade AK, though. But let's talk about the number 2 guy that I want to discuss, Taysom Hill. Now, if you were to trade him post June 1, you would save he would save New Orleans $10 million, but you'd have $5.8 million in dead money headed to Taysom Hill. And to be honest, the only realistic trade partner you have for Hill is the Denver Broncos because of Sean Payton. And I do believe that keeping Taysom Hill around is best for both sides. Not very many offenses. Literally, there's going to be 2. It's going to be the Saints, whoever was running it, Pete Carmichael forever, now Clint Kubiak, and Sean Payton. Those are the only 2 spots that are going to be able to bring in Taysom Hill and utilize him the way that he has been used. No other team is going to be able to bring in that kind of player and just throw him to the wolves and it work out. That's just not going to happen. So for both sides, I think it's best for Taysom Hill to stick around in New Orleans. 1, he gets to play and still be a big contributing factor to an offense. And 2, for the Saints aspect, they don't lose a player that they truly do value. So if you would not trade Taysom Hill, if you want him to stay in New Orleans, get the 7s in the chat. Make it look like a sea of 7s. I want you to flood it down below. Type those 7s. It's his jersey number in the comment section. Now, trade candidate number 3 that I got to discuss is Marshon Lattimore. He would save New Orleans about $3.9 million if you traded him post June 1, but he has a lot of dead money, $10.6 million to be exact. But in the grand scheme of things, in silver linings, the trade rumors have cooled down. He has not been nearly as prominent in the NFL rumor mill around trades. And on top of that, he has no guaranteed money after 2024. So that could be a thing that appeals to a team that might want to trade for Marshon Lattimore. Now, in terms of reports around a trade, Mickey Loomis has said they have not gotten an offer that they can't refuse. And that's what it's going to take to move on from Lattimore. I do think he's sticking around, but I love the trifecta of Paulson and Debo, Marshon Lattimore, and Alontae Taylor, because then you also got Rajon Wright, the last chance you legend. You got Ugo Amadi, a really nice slot nickel option. You have Faion Hicks in the depth chart as well. And to be quite honest, I'm so excited for more Alontae Taylor. This is kind of pivoting away from Marshon Lattimore. But I found myself in a rabbit hole the other day of watching some highlights and some clips from him. Dude, the kid just plays with so much energy, so much swagger, and so much confidence. Like, that is what the New Orleans Saints defense is. Like, I think that he could become a player that is the pulse of the Saints defense. Like, I love what Alontae Taylor has been able to do, and I can't wait to see his development continue and see him shape up into a really talented defensive player. And whether that means Marshon Lattimore isn't around in the next couple of years, or I don't know. But I want Alontae Taylor on the frickin' field, and I think that he can be a big-time playmaker. But if you want to make some big-time money like a playmaker, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and plug in that promo code CLNS to get started at PrizePicks. Now, PrizePicks is my favorite daily fantasy sports app, and all it is you just pick 2 or more players, choose more or less, and bam, you can win some real-time money. Now, in terms of some projections I'm rolling with, you can go NFL, you can go NHL, MLB. They have esports, they got League of Legends, NASCAR. They even have stuff for the Masters going on, which is this weekend. So, hey, if you want to put some projections down on the Masters, why don't you go use PrizePicks? But I wanted to go with some NFL season projections because I think that this is like a really fun thing that they do. I'm going with less than 4,099.5 yards for Kirk Cousins. The only reason is because he plays for the Falcons. I'm also going with more than 5 receiving touchdowns for Christian McCaffrey. It feels like he's pretty much good for one of those every game, every other game. And on top of that, I really like CJ Stroud, and I think that he's a great player. And they already brought in Stephon Diggs. So 26.5 passing touchdowns. going to go ahead and hammer them more on that. But if you want to fade my picks, you want to tell my picks, I don't really care. Just make sure you do it with Prize Picks. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Plug in that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Shout out to Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All of that information is in the comment section and description of this video. Pick more, pick less, play Prize Picks. So let's talk about Cesar Ruiz. Now, this isn't a player that I think needs to get traded away. I also don't know if he's a guy who's going to command a lot of attention in a trade, but it's worth noting the Saints would save only $1.3 million, have $3.1 million in dead money. But Ruiz, he's a frustrating player in my eyes. A lot of different content creators and a lot of different people will sit here and say Ruiz is good, Ruiz is bad, He's just a frustrating player in my opinion because he shows flashes of being really good. And he can be a great offensive lineman, but he just lacks consistency. Before he had his contract extension, which tends to be a pretty common theme, not just for offensive linemen, but for any player, he was playing really, really well. Gets an extension, hasn't been as great. Now, the PFF, they also agree with me on this. The overall grade stinks. The pass blocking grade, a little bit better, but it's like spraying Febreze on a turd. Still smells bad, but it's I guess a little bit better. The run blocking grade, just no. I'm not even going to, absolutely not. 27 pressures allowed and 5 sacks and 2 hits. I'm not happy with what Cesar Ruiz has been able to do in terms of his production. And at the end of the day, you have to upgrade this group. James Hurst, I'm a firm believer. I just don't think you can have him be your starting guard this year. I don't think it's anything to do more than just the production and the I'm not a big fan of James Hurst being a starter. I like him as a rotational backup or as a secondary guy, but no, I don't need him starting. Cesar Ruiz, step it the F up, man. Trevor Penning, you were a first-round pick. Why don't you freaking act like it? Ryan Ramczyk, you get a pass because you're hurt and you're old, but you're really, really good at football still. Eric McCoy, you keep doing you, brother. You just keep doing you and keep playing your game because this shit is more than a game, and he's a special player, not on special teams, though. He is a special player and makes special plays. Thank you, brother. All right, so how would you rate the Saints offensive line? Scale it for me 1 to 100. For me, it's like a 62. Anywhere between 62 and 65. It's not even a 70 for me. But I want you guys to share your thoughts. Scale it 1 to 100. Couple more trade candidates to dive into. Pete Werner. Now, for him, you could trade him pre or post June 1, and the financials are actually going to be the same for him. If you were to trade him, you save $1.4 million. You only have $373,000 in dead money. He's playing on his rookie contract still. But in terms of why a trade, well, the Saints signed Willie Gay to compete with Pete Werner, and he's in the last year under contract because he's in his rookie deal, like I just mentioned. Now, if Willie Gay beats Pete Werner out as a starting linebacker, this could be a trade that goes down in August, right before the season or right around the end of training camp. And Werner is a special player. He is a talented guy who can be a reliable tackler, but the coverage just isn't as good as you might want it to be. And to be honest, I think that he needs to stay on the field more. This year, 16 games played, but he's had injury issues in the past. And in my personal opinion, this is Pete Werner's job to lose. You are the guy in the clubhouse. You have been the starting linebacker for the last few years. You have no reason losing this battle to Willie Gay. However, Willie Gay is an extremely athletic player, and he can cover a lot of space on the field. So maybe the Saints want to go with the more athletic, more dynamic linebacker in Willie Gay. I think that keeping Werner around, even if Gay wins the competition, is a smart move because you can throw him in the rotation. But this is a guy I could see the Saints moving on from and allowing some of these other young guys to get some run as well. But let's talk about the last guy in this video, Juwan Johnson. If you were to trade him, it would save the Saints about $3 million. He does have about $4 million in dead money. And in 2023, the production for Juwan Johnson did regress a little bit. And part of that is due to injury. Part of that is due to lackluster QB play. But let's not sit here and say Andy Dalton, pretend like Andy Dalton was anything special. He's extremely league average, and that's about it. But I still really like the player in Juwan Johnson. And I think that he can be a really reliable player. I called him Mr. Reliable. I literally gave him that nickname because in 2022, over half of his catches were either a touchdown or a first down. So they either finished drives or extended them. And in last year, the production wasn't as good. But again, there were a lot of factors to that. And to be honest, I remember one really freaking awesome play against the Buccaneers when he's diving, does that little somersault roll, pops back up, first down Saints to keep the drive alive. Like, this is a guy who still has really nice attributes and really nice traits. But I will say this. If you go and draft a Brock Bowers or a Jatavion Sanders in the first 2 rounds, you can pretty much kiss Juwan Johnson goodbye. Like, I just don't see a world where they're going to keep Juwan Johnson, Foster Moreau, Taysom Hill, and a Jatavion Sanders / Brock Bowers. Like, it's just hard to justify 4 tight ends on the roster. Now, I'm not saying that they can't get creative with how they do it because, let's be honest, Taysom Hill isn't a tight end. He's just an offensive player. He is literally the fantasy football position of flex. So maybe you can justify it, but in my eyes, it just doesn't make a ton of sense to have 4 tight ends on the roster. That's just me, though. I can understand why you guys might disagree. But just to recap here, the trade candidates we discussed in today's video: Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, Marshawn Lattimore, Cesar Ruiz, Pete Werner, and Mr. Reliable, Juwan Johnson. Now, it's nothing personal. It's just business. So name a player that you would trade away. Give him his name in the comments section. And as always, Saints fans, y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time. All right, let's see who you would trade away. Draft Brock Bowers and trade Juwan Johnson from Mikey Taylor. That's pretty funny. I literally just said that. That's awesome, Mikey. Ooh, interesting. The NFL informed clubs today it has revised the uniform policy to allow teams a 3rd helmet design. This expansion was offered to the teams that were going through the redesign process for the 2024 season. Is now open to all clubs for the 2025 season. So I guess that means in 2025 you can have 3 helmets. 2024 it's still 2. So that means we could realistically see the black helmet, the gold helmet, and the throwback all be used in rotation, which would be sick in my opinion. I think that'd be dope. Also, put the black helmet on the black uniform. What the fuck are we doing here? Like, why are we putting the black helmet on the color rush? Put it on the fucking home uniform. It would look so much cooler. It would look so much cooler. All right. Let's see. Who do y'all want to trade away? Johnson and Werner. Derek Carr and Dennis Allen. Can't do that. Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill. All right. Well, there you go. I'm glad that some of y'all agree with some of the players that I threw out. Friendly reminder before we get into our last segment of the day. Whoever sends in the biggest super chat right now, it's Queen Courtney. She's at $30. Whoever sends in the most in super chats gets to pick a show topic for next week. I'm going to be discussing a lot of draft coverage, a lot of trade stuff, a lot of free agency, the rest of the offseason, but this is your chance to tell me or to write my script. Like, you give me the topic, I'll write the show, and we can do it together. We can have some fun. I can send you the script beforehand so that way you can know what's happening and you can have a little clue of what you came up with. It's just another fun way for us to have, some different content on the show because I want you guys to let me know what you want us to talk about. So Queen Courtney is the leader in the clubhouse at $30. Randy, you're at 25, so not too far behind, my friend. Not too far behind. We are also at $95 in super chats. They're $94.97. It would be really cool if we could get to 100. I think it would be really cool if we get to $100 in super chats. The iced out helmets iced out uniforms, black. I can't read. Iced out bling bling, white helmet like AK-41 mouthpiece. So here's the thing: white helmet, white uniform, white pants, gold logo on the helmet. Why have we not done that? Rose City says, I got a topic, armchair GMs. Rose City, if you want me to discuss armchair GMs, Send in a super chat of more than $30, and that is what we will talk about. Just going to throw that out there. All right. Mikey, $10 super chat. Now Mikey is tied with Courtney. Mikey is tied with Courtney for a topic idea at $30. Ken, are you going to make this a three-way tie? Let me tell you something about Ken. Ken strikes me as a guy who likes three-ways. He strikes me as a three-way kind of guy. He trade Taysom Hill. I'm flying to New Orleans and kicking down some doors. I'm going to be honest, if they trade Taysom Hill, I'm going to drive to wherever he gets traded. I'm going to kidnap Taysom Hill. I'm going to bring him back to New Orleans and hypnotize him and make him be like, no, you are not a Bronco. You are not a Packer. You are a Saint. That is what you are. Just having some fun. All right. We're going to get into this last mailbag. We crossed $100. That is awesome. I'll tell you what right now. No, Ken, you cannot. Ken, come on. We're not going to do that kind of stuff today. Not today, brother. I appreciate your comments, but that one, no. We got Queen Courtney backing me up. We got a mailbag coming up, so use hashtag Saints to get on the show. Saints, who dat Lucas? $20. All right, Lucas, so the leader is 30. Right now, the leader is 30. So, Lucas, if you send in like 11 or $12, it's all you, man. If you send in another 20, feels like it's very much so going to be you. The black helmet with the all-black uniforms, I can deal with that. Jerry, that'd be sick. That would be so tough. Really fast, too, before we get in the mailbag, I'm going to push my Twitter account. Can I get 5 people in the chat right now to click the link that I just put in there and give me a follow? Because I'm going to give you a shout-out on this video here in the next few seconds if you follow me. You have to click that link and you have to give me a follow. The first 5 people that do that are getting a shout-out in the video we're literally about to film. So who's going to do it? Who wants to get a shout-out on the video? Who wants to get more Saints content? Somebody show some love and give me a follow on the Twitter sphere, on the X sphere, as they say. Warrior says he wants Brock Bowers. Platinum edition, I don't care. I'm just ready for the draft. Me too, man. Me too. Give me a follow. Come on. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm putting the link in the chat. Does anyone want a shout out? Does anyone want some love? I'm going to give you guys another 30 seconds, and then we're going to dive into the cut or into the mailbag. Hit that link to give me a follow. I'm trying to do more Twitter space. I'm trying to do Twitter spaces where we have a bunch of people hop in and we just all talk about the Saints together. I've already reached out to Ross Jackson, John Hendricks, Chris Rusvoglu, Jono Barnes. All of them said that they would be down. They, just as long as it works with their schedule. So we're going to try and schedule some with some of those guys here in a little bit. But Rose City, shout out to you, my man. Shout out to you for giving me a follow. I appreciate you. If you guys want to hop into a spot where you get the opportunity to discuss Saints stuff and you get to talk about the New Orleans Saints and we can interact in real time, having a true conversation. It's literally like sports talk radio. It's super, super fun. Tons of people join. Tons of people hang out. So easy way for us to, have even more interaction, even more coverage for you. All right, let's dive into it because I want to have a little bit of a happy hour after this mailbag. So friendly reminder, are we good on questions? Okay. Reminder, use hashtag Saints, ask a question, send in a hot take, whatever you want to do. And Pelicans NOLA, correct. It is just X. But let's dive into it. Let's have us some fun. Yo, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? I encourage you to give me a follow on social media. We're about to dive into a mailbag where I'm answering your questions on YouTube. But if you want the opportunity for us to discuss in real time, give me a follow, especially on X, formerly known as Twitter, because I'm trying to start some Twitter spaces for Saints fans where we can talk about the team in real time and have a real conversation just like sports talk radio. So give me a follow. The links are in the comment section and description of this video. Shout out to Rose City D for my most recent follow. from a Saints fan. All right, Queen Courtney kicking things off for us. I saw some stupid rumor about Dallas trading Derek Carr. So stupid, but what are your thoughts? Okay, so I saw the same thing. I can actually tell you exactly where this came from because I tweeted this out a little bit ago. So Wisdom the Gamer on Facebook. He's a Saints content creator, predominantly posts on Facebook, it seems like. He threw out a trade idea. I'll just kind of show you right here. Derek Carr for Dak Prescott. Right there as well. You can go check out his Facebook page to see his thoughts or check out my Twitter because I tweeted out screenshots of it. I think it's a terrible idea. I want nothing to do with Dak Prescott. I want, to be honest, not really a ton to do with Derek Carr. I'm kind of in the boat of let's stop signing older quarterbacks and let's go draft a young guy. Like I'm kind of in the boat. I'm just ready to have some fun in the draft. I'm ready to gamble and roll the dice on some young quarterbacks and see how those work out. I'm just so tired of picking between picks 11 and 18. It's just so boring. It's so unfortunate. I'm out on a Dak Prescott trade. No, thank you. Mr. Crew, can the Saints trade up into the top 10? I mean, yeah, technically it will be tough. And to be honest, I'm not really sure why you would want to. The only player, in my opinion, that I think is worth trading up into the top 10 for is Joe Alt in terms of positional needs, because I don't think the Saints are trading up for a quarterback. And if you had to, you have to get up to the top 4, which is not going to happen. You're not getting into the top 4 picks. But in terms of top 10, Joe Alt is an intriguing option, but I almost would even rather wait and just get Olu Fashanu a handful of picks later. I'm personally okay with staying put. I can also understand the argument of trading down. I would more so do that in the second round to recoup some third and fourth round selections, but I would prefer to just stay put in round 1. Shout out to producer Seeps for whipping this one up. What should New Orleans do in round 1 of the 2024 draft? Type U for trade up, type D for trade down, or just give me an S for stay put. And while you're sharing thoughts in the comment section, if you want to be a part of our next mailbag, hit that big red sub button. I guarantee if you're commenting, you just had to pass it. So just kind of scroll right back and click that red button for more videos. This was filmed in our live shows that we have every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time. So if you want to join our mailbags, easiest way to do that is subscribing and hitting that noti bell to go a little bit further. All right, Mikey Taylor. Excuse me, bad radio. I got to take a sip of water. Will Jake Haener get a chance to play in the regular season this year? I don't think so. The only route I see Jake Haener getting on the field is through injury for Derek Carr. I don't think that he is going to beat Derek Carr as a starting quarterback. DC4 is your QB1. That's it. The conversation is over. Now, if he gets hurt, Jake Haener is your QB2. He's going to go and play a little bit. I hope to God we don't have to see Nathan Peterman on the field, though. So, will Jake Haener get a chance? Maybe, but it's going to be predominantly barring injury. I am really interested to see how he plays this year in the preseason. I want to see how much he's grown since last year. Hunter Robinson, should the Saints trade for Hunter Renfrow? Well, you don't have to trade for Hunter Renfrow because he is a free agent. So, to answer your question, no, they should not trade for him. But to really answer your question, should they sign him? I'm okay with it. I would rather bring in a guy like Tyler Boyd or draft another player. I don't hate the idea of bringing in Hunter Renfrow, but I don't want to sign a guy because a couple of years ago he had a good connection with my quarterback. That's a few years ago. That's not what happened most recently. That's not what's happening right now. So I don't hate the idea of getting Hunter Renfrow, but I'm paying him not a lot of money, and I'm waiting till after the draft to make that addition. But if you want to make some additions to your plans this upcoming football season, or the baseball season, or throughout the NBA playoffs, I encourage you to download the Game Time app, use promo code CHATSPORTS, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. Now, the Game Time app is my favorite ticketing app because it's last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. They have all sorts of really cool flash deals, zone deals, and anytime there's a stadium promo, like a bobblehead giveaway or t-shirt giveaway or whatever, they let you know that on the app as well. And even more of a reason to love it, it's so user-friendly. You can see your seats from the app. You can know what your view is and where you're going to be posted up. So you can know, oh, I'm going to be in the sun all afternoon, or I'm behind the scoreboard. I got to move my seats. So if you want to get tickets to LSU football, New Orleans Saints football, or the New Orleans Pelicans, I encourage you to get started with Game Time today. They don't just have sporting events. They also have live shows, comedy events, theater, concerts, anything. If you need a ticket, you need to use Game Time. So download the Game Time app. Use our promo code CHATSPORTS. That's code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. One more time. Download the Game Time app. Use promo code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off. All that information is in the comment section and description of this video. All right, King Kamara, sick picture by the way. The Saints should trade for Micah Parsons. Cam Jordan, Micah Parsons, Chase Young, Carl Granderson, and Brian Brzee would be nasty. That's not going to happen, at least this year. So there's been like some reports out there that the Cowboys, like the people inside the office, like there would be people who wouldn't be too upset to see him go. Now, I just don't see a world where the Cowboys are going to want to trade him away, at least this year, maybe next year. Let's say, for example, the Cowboys just shit the bed. Realistic possibility. But then on top of that, they're like, well, let's just blow it up, get a ton of draft capital, let's reset and do whatever. Jerry Jones could be a wild card here and maybe trade away Micah. It would be a big-time surprise, but it is not happening anytime soon. And if it were to happen, it would be kind of tough to justify it to the Saints. That being said, if he's available and New Orleans doesn't make a call, that is organizational malpractice. You at least got to try if that's happening. Fully baked. What about Tyler Boyd for wide receiver? Yeah, I'm all in on Tyler Boyd. I think that bringing in the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver would be an excellent addition. When I looked at the numbers before and after Jamar Chase was drafted to Cincinnati, the averages and the numbers are scarily similar from before and after. Like, pretty much the average production is the exact same as it was when he was the wide receiver one versus now. So obviously that's a testament to how good Jamar Chase is and how bad that Bengals offense was a handful of years ago. But I also think that Tyler Boyd could bring some really nice qualities to the Saints offense that does need another wide receiver, especially another veteran wide receiver. I'm all for bringing in Boyd. And I think that the fact that he hasn't been signed yet is kind of weird, to be honest. Blaze, Trace, should we get Spencer Rattler at 14? Absolutely freaking not. If you draft Spencer Rattler anywhere in the top 100, that is a mistake. Like, no, absolutely not. The quarterback, not at all. Especially Spencer Rattler, no, not at 14. It's not that I hate the player. He is not worth the 14th overall selection. No, thank you. Blaze, appreciate the question, but I'm not interested. Kyle, draft Brock Bowers in the first round and Graham Barton in round 2. Graham Barton, that is an intriguing option. So let me pull up some draft notes here on Barton. Now, the Saints could look to go and he is an offensive lineman from the Duke Blue Devils, for those of you who didn't know. In terms of his relative athletic score, holy cow, this guy's a Saint. He has a 9.99 relative athletic score. Graham Barton, the offensive guard out of Duke, you are a New Orleans Saint. But in all seriousness, he's a really athletic player. He's extremely polished. He could be a guard or center, kind of player, more than likely a guard kind of guy. He's really quick, has nice pad level. He has reps both in the zone and in gap. And in terms of like a notable matchup that he had, absolutely locked up Jared Verse when Duke took on Florida State. He did play better in 2022, which is worth noting. The power is a little bit of concern, but I think Graham Barton would be an excellent option. I do think the Saints need tackles first, but interior offensive line definitely is a position that needs to be upgraded. So if you went the route of Bowers round 1, Graham Barton round 2, I don't hate it. I really don't, because I think a lot of the top tackles will be gone by number 45. So Graham Barton would be an excellent selection. I also have seen him get mocked to the first round, so he may not even be available at pick number 45. All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. If you haven't already, I encourage you to give me a follow on social media. The links are in the comment section and description of this video. It's at Girouard48. And if you made it to the end of the video, a little secret time between you and I, type real one in the chat. So that way I know who the end of the video crew is, and that way I know who are the real Saints fans. Y'all stay gold and have a wonderful weekend. See you next time. Mikey! Bro, I wish we could have had talked on that space last night. Also, give this $5 to Queen Courtney. All right, so Mikey is saying, I want Queen Courtney to be on top. Yeah, so in terms of the Twitter space that Mikey's talking about, I tried to run a Twitter space, but nobody joined. Mikey tuned in, but we couldn't get his microphone situated. It was weird. Like I think my phone was bugging. I might have set it up wrong. Like something weird was going on with the spaces. We had nobody tune in, and normally we at least have a couple people. I will say also, kind of, devil's advocate. I did kind of throw this up I threw it together very last second, so that's kind of that. But Mikey, I do appreciate you for trying to join and hanging out with us. Next time I run a space, I do them every Monday night. Like that's kind of like the, I don't know the right word. That's the routine. That's not the word I'm looking for. That's kind of the schedule. I try to do every Monday around 6:30 to 7-ish. It's usually I start it when I'm walking home, and then we just talk about balls and Saints and all that kind of fun stuff. Yep. Well, I don't know, Sam worded. I get that. But we talk a lot about football. We talk about the Saints. A lot of interaction between fans and stuff. It was a lot of fun the first couple we've done. So, Mikey, I do appreciate you for trying to tune in with us. But right now, Queen Courtney with $35. $35 is the number to beat. So if somebody sends in more than $35, you get to pick a show topic. If not, Queen Courtney gets to decide what the show is going to be about in the future. So we're going to also do a little bit of let's do a quick little deal. I want to make a deal with you guys. For every individual super chat, any super chat, any value, every super chat that comes in over the next 5 minutes, I'm going to drop down and do that many push-ups. So if it's a 1 minute or if it's a $1 super chat, I'm going to do one push-up. If it's $20 super chat, I'm doing 20 push-ups. If it's $50, I'm doing 50 push-ups. So help a brother out. Who wants to see your boy get jacked? Who wants to see your boy do some stuff? Ethan, we're doing this 1 to 10 for $10. Every time you do it, I'm going sick. You say, look down, it's Drew Brees. So I'm going 6. Ethan, I'm going 6. I also am starting to come to terms with, I think Ethan might be just messing with me, and I don't think he's ever going to send in that $10 super chat. I'm starting to call his bluff because I don't think he ever intends to send it in. So Ethan, I'm going with 6 today. If that's not it, I'm telling you what, the jury's out on whether or not this is even a fair deal, even a fair trade. 1 minute down. We're going to stay live for the next couple minutes. Whoever sends in a super chat, whoever sends the most gets to. Penning played a handful of games, barely ready to go. Yeah, I understand that, John, but even when he was out there, he wasn't good. Let me put it this way. Even when Trevor Penning was healthy last year and the Saints were in jumbo sets where they have a lot of offensive linemen, he was not on the field. So, John, I understand where you're coming from. Like, you need to give him some more time. But how much time are we willing to give a first-round pick to be like, well, no, after year 4, he'll be okay. Or after, no, I'm not doing this song and dance. You get 2 years. People have zero patience and zero depth of analysis. John, I agree with you. People do have zero patience. We live in a microwave society, and we live in a microwave world where people expect results like that. But that being said, when you're running let's think about this for what it is. The NFL is a business. It is not it is entertainment. It is It is fun. It is exciting, but it is a business. And if a part of your business that you invest a lot of assets to bring into your business is not performing well after multiple years of trying to make it work, you move on from that part and you upgrade and make your business better. That doesn't mean that said person is a bad employee. It just means it's not a good fit. So maybe Trevor Penning could be really good in the XFL. Maybe he could be really, really good on a different team. But he was also hurt for the first two. He wasn't hurt all year this past year. He was hurt for part of the season. Trevor Penning was not hurt all season. He was hurt for very few games. He was benched. He was not even allowed on the field. They moved Andrews Pete from guard to tackle because they did not trust Trevor Penning. If he was healthy both years, you would have a point. John, we're clearly not going to see eye to eye on this. My opinion, this is the last year Trevor Penning has to prove to me he's worth a shit. If he isn't, he starts next year as a backup, and he doesn't get a new contract. And that's what it is. That's my thoughts. You're allowed and you're entitled to your opinions, but I think Trevor Penning has the ability to be great. Nothing he has shown me yet has been good, though. He has not given me anything that's been worth a shit to be about. All right, minute and a half left. I spent most of that talking to John about Trevor Penning. But if anyone sends in a super chat more than $35, you get to pick what our next show is about. And on top of that, for every dollar you send in, that's how many push-ups I'm doing. So if you send in $20, I'm doing 20 push-ups. If you send me $50, I'm doing 50 push-ups. If you send me $100, I'm doing 100 push-ups. And I really hope I don't have to do 100 push-ups. John, give him this year. Totally agree. Give him this year. He could be the starter. He could be. If they draft Olu Fashanu or left tackle, there's a competition there. But he should get an opportunity to try one more time. I totally agree. But if it doesn't work after this year, we'll see you, Penning. Thank you for coming on down from Northern Iowa, but no thank you anymore. All right, 30 seconds. 30 seconds left. If we don't get any super chats, we're going to hop on out of here and get our weekend going. We would love to keep hanging out. We'd love to keep this thing going. But I also can understand you guys might be ready to get your Wednesday evening started and also might be saving up for the draft. So, who knows there. Randy, just a quick, in case you missed it, we are going live for the NFL draft, Randy. So I hope to see you there. I hope to see you there. I hope to see Mikey. I hope to see Saints Houdat Lucas. I hope to see Queen Courtney. I hope to see Tyler Stokely. And Queen Courtney! She's at $40 on the day. Queen Courtney at $40, so you made it a little bit harder for you to get on the show. But let me put it this way: if somebody sends in 100 right now, you get to pick the show. Queen Courtney, you're the leader of the clubhouse. But if somebody wants to just say, "I'm calling it, we're done, I'm picking the damn show," $100 super chat, and you get to pick it. Otherwise, we're gonna let this kind of coast off into the sunset and see how things go. And yeah, I will be on the show for the first round of the draft from Kyle. I appreciate you. Tyman, I'll be there, of course. Tyman, you're gonna have a tough decision because me and Seeps are going live, so you're gonna have two different monitors. And Pete, they don't have a first round pick. Browns don't have a first round pick. Queen Courtney will be at the draft party. Yeah, if you're going to be at the draft party, can you just type me in the chat? If you're going to be at our draft party, give me a me. Draft Joe Milton at 45. Shoot for the stars. Praise God. That would be that's not shooting for the stars. That's shooting heroin. That is one of the best drugs I have ever heard. I don't know what you're on, but give me some of that. Joe Milton is not a second round player. He might be a UDFA. To be fully transparent, he might be a UDFA. He might be a 6th, 7th round pick. I am not taking him at number 45 overall. I would rather go get a pass catcher, an edge rusher, or an offensive lineman than waste the second round pick on a quarterback who probably won't play and probably won't ever see the field outside of the preseason. He says it's better than a bust offensive lineman. I'd rather have a bust offensive lineman than the waste of second-round pick on a bust quarterback. That's just me. Kyle, Ty-Man, Queen Courtney, all joining us. Jerry's going to be there. Kyle's going to be there. Ty-Man, Jerry G, John, FJ, Fully Baked, Pelicans, Nola, Kyle, Rivas, all going to be there. Car's not much better. If you're saying that okay, praise God. If your argument is draft Joe Milton at round 2 because he's not that much better or he's not much worse than Derek Carr, that is not an argument. That is just not a realistic argument to make. We need a quarterback. Carr don't fit. I agree we need a quarterback. But you're not drafting a quarterback. Here's the thing. You traded up for Jake Haener last year. So you did draft a quarterback. You are not Okay, praise God. This is not me being a dick. This is me telling you the facts, okay? Do not shoot the messenger on this. Do not get mad at me. He will not, or the New Orleans Saints will not select a quarterback in the first 150 selections. There will not be a quarterback drafted in the first 150 picks. Bo Nix at 14. If the Saints draft Bo Nix at 14, I'm canceling my channel. Bo Nix fucking stinks. He's terrible. This is not me trying to be rude. Praise Heroin's crazy, but for real, you're speaking facts. No, praise God. I think Milton would be a good 6th, 7th round flyer. Why the hell not? For sure there. But God, no. I don't think Bo Nix is good either. I don't think a quarterback is a pick that the Saints will make early. Now, Ken Fox throws out Michael Pratt in the 5th round. That's something I can get on board with. If he's available and you have a comp pick just sitting around, why not? I'd rather have Michael Pratt than Nathan Peterman. That's just me. And unless a great quarterback tumbles into their lap, John Bullen, great point. If somehow, some way, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, or Drake May falls to 14, go and get him. But I'm not taking 14 on Penix. I'm not taking 14 on Bo Nix. Definitely not taking 14 on Spencer Rattler or Jordan Travis or anything either. Queen Courtney, thank you for your $5 super chat. We do have to set another 60-second timer. Otherwise, we have to hop on out of here. I do owe 5 push-ups, now that I remember that. I owe 5 push-ups, so let's do those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gotten harder since the last time I did push-ups. Those have gotten a lot harder since the last time I did push-ups. All right. 30 seconds left. If we get a super chat, we'll keep hanging out. If not, no worries. We will head on out of here. Queen Courtney, looks like you're picking a show. So I will email you tomorrow morning, and we can figure out what you would like us to discuss on the video or on the channel. So Queen Courtney, be on the lookout for my email tomorrow. I have just a little bit of work I got to do to round out the day, and then I have to jet for some family plans and stuff. So I'll just hit you up tomorrow morning, if that's okay with you, Courtney. And without further ado, we have crossed our 1-minute shot clock timer, so we're going to roll on out of here and start our weekend. Ken, are you really doing push-ups? Yeah, you can't tell. You can't tell. Ken, rewind it and look at my face before and after and tell me if I'm doing push-ups. All right, we will see you guys later. Queen Courtney says that's fine. Appreciate you, Queen Courtney. Ken Fox, John Bullen, Praise God, Kyle Rivas, Ty-Man, Saints Houdat Lucas, Mikey Taylor, Randy Lemoyne, and all of the Houdat Nation and all of the real ones. I greatly appreciate you for hanging out with us today. Y'all stay golden. We got some content coming out here in just a few minutes. We'll see you next time.